but okay. Hi, my name is Ellen Lutz, Health Sciences Librarian.
And I'm Anne Graham, a Science and Engineering Librarian.
And this is a recording of our So You Have to Do a Literature Review or Systematic Review or Scoping Review workshop. So what we're going to do in this workshop is talk about what a literature review is, and then we're going to provide what we call our literature review toolkit. And since we're doing this without any participants, we won't have questions at the end. So what is a literature review and why would you do one? Well, quite frankly, it's a review of the literature. That seems obvious, but what is the literature? So the literature is the body of information about your field. So the focus of a lit review is to look at the primary research or the original research about your topic. The purpose of it is to make sure that you're familiar with the research in your area, discover different perspectives about your topics of interest, identify gaps in the research, and then show how your research, what you're personally interested into, fits into the conversation about your topic. So there are different types of literature reviews or different types of reviews so most research articles start with a literature review, which is usually a shortened summary of selected information that supports what that research article is going to then be looking into. With dissertations and theses, they might have a chapter or sections of those that are literature reviews. And then there's several types of standalone articles, review articles that are published. They're categorized with all different types of labels, but some common ones, and we referred to these in our title, are systematic review, scoping review, a meta-analysis, a literature review, a mixed methods review. There's a whole bunch of them out there. So the approach you take and how comprehensive your search needs to be will be influenced by the type of review that you're doing, because there are different kind of guidelines and structure depending on the type of review.
Our literature review toolkit is a source you can use wherever you are right now. We encourage you to form partnerships with librarians, writing tutors, and communities. This will take time and practice. Ellen and I will focus on the first two steps: find relevant literature and organize and choose what you will include. And we'll offer you links to sources of writing help for the UMass community as you move through items 3 and 4 in this list. And maybe some of you have already attended the graduate school literature review workshops. So hopefully we'll let you know more about that. To find relevant literature, the first step is to think about your research topic or question. This can happen on a piece of paper or in a digital format. My example question you see here is broken down into a strategy for using search engines and databases. A search strategy is a little more deliberate than just spontaneously Googling something, because you're taking time to think about the main concepts of your topic and identifying keywords for your concepts. The goal is to make you more efficient when searching. And an important aspect of this iterative process of refining your search strategy is that it gives you time to think about what you are finding and where your interests are taking you. Sometimes your question may be too broad and you will get too much information from a search. Sometimes it will be too narrow and you won't get enough information. Each topic or question you pursue takes practice, following leads, and pruning. My example research question is, how can bicycles become public transportation options in rural areas? I broke that question down into 3 core concepts: bicycles, public transportation, and areas with small human populations. Then I thought of keywords that authors of articles about these concepts might use to describe them. Authors may use different words to describe the same concepts, and I want to capture their articles for my research. These are my guesses, and it's a place to start. People do describe areas with small human populations as rural or sometimes remote. Once you do this, it's more efficient to take these words into databases to search for articles you want to read. Another part of the strategy is understanding how to communicate with databases. Unlike Google, they don't correct spelling. They understand the star as a wildcard. Putting a wildcard at the end of BICYCL will tell the database to look for any words that start with BICYCL. This asterisk tells the database to return bicycle, bicycles, bicycling. I also put quotes around the phrases human-powered vehicle, public transportation, and remote area. They are phrases, and the quotes tell the database to look for each of them as a phrase, not individual words. I connect synonyms with or. I connect core concepts with and. This expands the returns I'll get from the database for each core concept, but also tells the database I want all the core concepts to be discussed in the articles I find. You will need many searches for each aspect of your literature review, and your search strategy will evolve as you find new keywords or phrases that authors use to describe the research you are seeking. Once you have a search strategy, your subject librarian is a valuable partner. Librarians know which databases contain information on each subject area. We will show you how to find your librarian on the next slide. And as you work with your librarian, you will review the search results your evolving search strategy gathers for you. As you review these results, you'll be reading abstracts, finding new keywords, and reading articles of interest, noting which articles are cited in the reference lists at the end of these papers. There will be many iterations of these steps. These are places for you to start in your effort to find relevant literature. Ellen is clicking on the Find Your Librarian link and showing you how to search for a librarian on a specific subject area. So there's Ellen. The kinesiology studying area is under her expertise. Another way to find a librarian who is an expert in your area of study is to find the subject guides we librarians have prepared. These contain contact information, and they list databases that are useful if you are looking for literature in specific subject areas. And they're listed here in alphabetical order by subject. Your subject librarian can work with you to develop and document your search strategy, provide recommendations for databases that cover aspects of literature on your topic, and work with you to set up an organizational structure for this process. The last link on this slide is to the literature review guide Ellen has prepared for all who are seeking information on the process of preparing literature reviews. And that link is in the slides that we're going to share with you. So next, Ellen's going to talk about organizing what you find and choosing what you will include and document.
Yeah, so one of the things to do as you're starting to organize, and especially, again, this how important this is depends some on the type of review that you're doing and what the intent is, but it's always helpful to document your process as you're going through and doing a literature review and do searching. As Anne mentioned, it is an iterative process, so you're going to be doing different searches, and so it's good to know like which keywords might be yielding better results. So it doesn't take a lot of time to track stuff as you go along. You can do it, you know, if you prefer analog, you can have a paper notebook that you jot this information down. This is just one example of how you might use an electronic form to do this. And so it helps you, not just have those numbers if you need them for the type of review that if you're going to publish, but it helps you remember what and where you searched, and again, how effective each search was. Because especially if you working on this and then you go away for a long weekend, sometimes it's hard to remember maybe what you had searched. So this is one example of how you can do it. Again, the terms and the synonyms that you used, how you combine those terms is helpful. query search, the name of the database, the date, and the number of results you got. And you can also add some comments to the results, like, I found mostly this type of article, or, these didn't really seem relevant, or, just whatever you need to help you remember kind of how productive that search was for you. And as I mentioned, this is an example of the type of table you might need to include if you're doing a published review, especially like a systematic or a scoping or an iterative review. It contains the complex string of your key concepts with alternate terms. So you'll see I use the same. It's nice when you can use the same search strategy in multiple databases, but the brackets around the topics, those are used around synonyms, strings for your various key concepts. So that tells the database how to interpret your query correctly. Database algorithms that produce results for you are basically math equations. So if you remember back to algebra, when you had equations that had parentheses in it, how you evaluated that based on the parenthesis would give you different results. It's the same way with database searching. So you'll see, here are my kind of 3 core concepts that I have, the database that I searched, the date of the search, and how many results I got. So then as you're doing those searches, you might want to save those results. So most databases, or save your searches, sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. You save your searches and let you set up search alerts. So this is really good if you are, especially for graduate students, PhD students, that the area that you're interested in, and you kind of have developed a search strategy that gets you the articles that you want, so that you don't have to rerun that search on a periodic basis. You can set up search alerts. In most of our databases, they allow you to save searches and set up search alerts. Most of the time, you will need to create an account specific to that database. So you don't necessarily have to use your net ID and password. You can. Some databases like Web of Science also might let you set up table of contents alerts for journals. Sometimes you can do that on the journal website as well. It's nice when you can do it in a database, because then you can kind of do multiple journals at a time. You can also do citation alerts, so that if you find some articles that really seem to be key articles in your area, you can find out when those articles have been cited. And that's specific, I know, to Web of Science. And as I said, many journals also let you sign up for contents alerts. So these are just ways to help make it easier for you to keep up on newly published literature in your area.
There are many citation management tools out there which help you save and organize citations, annotate PDFs, cite while you write in Word and Google Docs, and create references with software. The UMass libraries support 2 citation management tools, Zotero and Mendeley. And this link will lead you to our Citation Manager's Guide with a comparison chart describing the similarities and differences between Zotero and Mendeley, and information for getting started with each of these tools. As you can see on the tab names, give you that information about the specific tools.
And we also have here, there is still one, if you're interested in Zotero, there is one virtual workshop coming up in mid-October that you can learn more about that from our colleague Melanie, who is one of our Zotero experts.
And next, Ellen will talk about a specific aspect of organizational citation management.
Yeah, so again, depending on the type of review that you're doing, you are probably going to be searching, well, actually, no matter what kind of lit review you're doing, you're probably going to search more than one database. Depending on how many results you have, again, you might need to be removing duplicate items. So some citation managers, and Zotero is one of them, include tools to identify duplicate citations to kind of make it easier. You can also use Excel to do that, because in most databases, you can export results to a citation manager file, or to, usually it's a CSV and not a direct Excel. That way you can merge your results from various databases into one place to help you identify duplicates. The one caveat to using Excel is every database tends to export the data columns in different orders. So you have to sometimes do some cutting and pasting of columns and reorganizing so that you can merge your results from multiple databases into a single file. There's also some specialized tools to use for systematic or scoping reviews when you have a lot of information that you're trying to synthesize, a lot of results. I work in the health sciences, so like my nursing PhD students who are doing scoping reviews as part of their dissertation often will have hundreds or even maybe 1,000 or 2 results that they start with from various databases. So trying to deduplicate those and then process those articles, tools like Rayan, which is a completely free tool that helps you process, go through deciding which articles to include and exclude. There's also a tool called Covidence that offers a free trial if you have 500 records or fewer. So there's more information about these tools and detailed instructions on how to export results on the literature review guide. Oops, did I not click the right spot? Yeah, so if we go down here to, yeah, here's the video for literature reviews. Whoops, no, for exporting large result sets. So to do it to citation managers and for Excel.
The next steps are analyzing and synthesizing chosen studies and finding ways to relate these studies to your own work. There are several places to work with partners at UMass Amherst. The Writing Center offers individual 45-minute consultations with writers, and these sessions are collaborative and tailored to your writing process. Get help clarifying your ideas, reorganizing your text, setting writing goals, and building productive writing practices at the Writing Center. The Graduate School offers various professional development events related to writing, including spring Shut Up and Write Tuesdays and dissertation writing retreats, which you can apply for. The retreats are open to graduate students from all departments who are at the dissertation writing stage. These retreats offer extensive structured time to write and develop effective writing strategies. And if any of you are Commonwealth Honors College students, there are honors thesis workshops available to help you with the process of developing an idea through submission of the final paperwork.
And it looks like we forgot to check the link, so the link we had to that is not working.
Okay.
We'll update the slides before we put them on the literature review guide. So that's our overview of this is a recording of our literature review workshop. If you have questions, please reach out to Anne or myself, and we can help with methodology questions, or definitely reach out to your liaison librarian to ask specific discipline questions or get suggestions for databases to use. We hope you found this helpful. Thanks.